Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the How to Build series where we're going through every single champion in the game, rare and above at least, and I'm going to give you kind of a quick reference, quick build guide on them. This is aimed at the newer players, the players with less experience who just need a little guidance for a particular champion and want to get an idea of how useful they might be and where they might be useful, what kind of gear to put on them and all that. So I'm not going to be going into late game builds or strats or talking about masteries. Masteries can get very convoluted and be very specific based on how you want to utilize a champ. So again, it's just a quick reference guide to send you in a direction with certain champs, or with every champ in the game, I guess, eventually. But that being said, quick disclaimer, I'm not saying my way is the best way or the only way, just trying to put some helpful information out there. So that being said, let's get into it. Get the notepads ready, get ready on the pause and rewind button, and let's talk about Cataphract. He is a Bannerlord's HP champ. Now, looking at his base stats, that base HP is through the roof. That is a really, really nice base HP. Defense is on the lower side, but that's not going to be a huge deal because that HP is going to be pretty easy to scale. So I don't imagine he's got too much that we need to worry about defense anyway. Defense is a nice little boost, obviously, but you don't want to rely too much on it in most cases, because if you get hit with a defense break or someone has ignore defense and you don't have the HP to sustain, it's not going to matter how high your defense was. So base speed is nice. He's almost at 100. It's average. I'd say it's pretty average for base speed. So let's take a look, see what he's got going on. First skill, attacks one enemy, has a 20% chance of placing a 50% decrease accuracy debuff on the target for one turn. Okay, so it's nice that's on his first skill. Generally, you're not focusing too hard on decreased accuracy. It's a nice thing to have, but I don't know of too many situations where that's going to be the strat. But it's nice to have on his first skill. It's an added bonus. Every time he lands it, it's nice, because while I don't know of many times that your hard focus is a decreased accuracy comp, it is always nice to have more potential for the enemy to not land their debuffs on you. So that's nice. Nothing wrong with that. I'm not mad at it. Second skill, places a block debuffs buff and a 60% increased defense buff on this champion for 2 turns. Okay, so he places an immunity and a defense buff on himself. So it's a little selfish. He's not sharing it with anybody, and you're using a turn to do it. But the nice thing about that is that you're putting a block debuffs on yourself. So unless someone strips it first, they can't really mess with you in the time it takes you to get your next turn. They can hit you, but you've got a nice defense buff, and they're not going to land any debuffs or anything like that. So not bad, not bad. Third skill, attacks one enemy, will ignore defense if the target has less than 50% HP. Damage increases according to this champion's max HP. Okay, interesting. So this makes him a nice cleanup option, and it also gives him some viability in the dungeons, because while he may not do much in the first half of the fight, in the second half of the fight, when he starts ignoring defense, then there's some potential for some substantial damage here. Now it's a 6-turn cooldown, which is a lot. So unless this hits really, really hard, I don't know that it's going to be worth having him on the team, because he's not really helping you wave clear. He's only buffing himself, and his aura is arena only. And again, the decreased accuracy is nice, but it's generally not a crucial part of any composition in any part of the game, at least that I'm aware of. So if this had a shorter cooldown, 6 turns is a lot of turns. 6 turns is a lot of turns. That means if he doesn't waste it in the first 50% of the enemy's health, he probably won't get an opportunity to do it again where it's going to matter. You know what I mean? 6 turns is a really long time. So that's a bummer. That's a bummer. It's really a bummer because the base HP is so nice. Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about artifacts. Basically, what you want on him is, yeah, you just want to shoot his HP up. So you're going to be looking for HP sets on him. I'm not even going to suggest that you really focus on putting a lot of accuracy on him, because again, this is not super important to land. I would shoot to put a lot of HP on him. You could throw a little defense on him if you wanted to. Throw a little bit of speed. I mean, if you really want to skill the trigger, I would say don't put a lot of speed on him, so that it takes him a long time to get his turn, so that maybe by the time he goes, he's landing. He's using his third skill. But that's too specific to build around. And again, a 6-turn cooldown. It's much more likely he's just going to burn this skill. Unless the AI is really good and he won't use it unless they're below 50%, the AI is just going to burn through this skill and it's going to be wasted. So, yeah, I mean, HP sets, and then later on you could throw a crit rate set, because you're eventually going to want to start putting some crit rate and crit damage on him, so that the HP scaling damage is more substantial. But if you're looking for HP percentage on the gloves, HP percentage on the armor, and honestly probably HP percentage on the boots. You could throw speed on the boots if you like, but I'm going to be honest with you, and I hate to disappoint anybody, but I personally I wouldn't put any effort into this dude, short of being a nice tank on arena defense. But again, he doesn't even provoke, so there's no real reason for him to even be a tank. Maybe cleanup, attacks one enemy. Maybe a cleanup on arena offense after your nuker's gone. Then he can hit somebody and do a lot of damage. But it's all so specific, and it's got such a long cooldown. I'd say the place you're going to get the most out of him is on arena offense, and it's probably going to be with him going last after an AoE nuker who hits everybody, and then you can choose your target. So if there's someone that you don't want to get a turn because they're going to do a lot of damage, or you want to take out their healer or their reviver or something to that effect, your nuker can hopefully drop everybody down to at least less than 50% HP, and then he can come in behind your nuker and take out the most important target that you're going for. But at that point, you might as well just have another AoE and go double AoE on your arena nuke comp. So I don't dig him. I wouldn't put a lot of resources into this dude. So my rating for him is going to be I'm going to go like 3.5 tops. There's just not a lot of utility here. He's not bringing a lot to the table. If this had a shorter cooldown, we could talk about it. If this was AoE, we could talk about it. If this was something besides decreased accuracy, we could talk about it. But I don't think you're going to get much out of this dude. The base HP is great, but beyond that, he's bringing very little to the table. So maybe with this, throw him on arena defense and let him be annoying for a minute. But he's really just going to take a long time to kill. You know what I mean? He's not really threatening in most situations. So I personally wouldn't invest a lot of resources. But I've told you what artifacts I'd put on him, and I've told you how and where I would utilize him. So feel free to put him to use. You try to prove me wrong. If you have Cataphract and you disagree with something I've said, if you think he's amazing and you're getting some use out of him, let us know how. Tell me where I'm wrong and how you're putting him to use and how he's benefiting you. If you have any questions about anything I've said, drop them in the comments. Of course, we can talk about it. That's going to wrap it up for Cataphract. I hope it was helpful. I hope it gave you some guidance. It's a bummer that he's not a little more interesting or a little more useful in my eyes anyway. But again, like I said, I don't know. I don't always know best. I don't have all the answers all the time, so I could be wrong, and I'm open to being told that I'm wrong. So either way, I hope it was helpful. Questions, comments, all that good jazz. If you ever want to try to catch me live, I stream every weekday on Twitch at 6 p.m. Eastern at twitch.tv/JGigs. If this wasn't your champion, be on the lookout. I'm trying to pump these out as fast as possible, so your champion is on the way soon if they're not already uploaded. And that will do it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.